Eternal Father, in this dawn consecrated to your silence and your sovereign will, I bring my heart devoid of certainties and full of questions that accumulate in the corridors of my soul. I bring my empty hands, calloused from holding on to long waits, promises that have not yet come, dreams that fall asleep on dry land. But even so, I come. I come because I know that you are here. Even when you hide in time, even when you are silent at the moment when I cry out to you the most. I come not because I understand, but because I believe, and even without seeing I prostrate myself. You know every fold of my weariness. You know the days when I lay down with my soul, suspended between not yet and will I ever. You know the smiles I offered, while inside my faith struggled not to break. But you are a God who does not ignore the field of waiting. You stepped on this same earth when you walked among us. You waited for the right time for everything, to be born, to act, to suffer, to be resurrected. Therefore, if I am waiting, it is not because I have been forgotten, it is because I am being shaped. And even if my eyes do not see it yet, my faith rests on the certainty that there is a divine purpose in the silence that surrounds me. Father, help me to understand that delay is not absence, that the time that seems lost is, in fact, fertile soil, where your secret work is being cultivated. You are the divine farmer who never sows seeds out of time. You are the God who plants in the invisible and reaps in the supernatural. So give me patience so that I do not dig the ground before its time. Give me maturity so that I do not beg for immature fruit. Give me eyes to see that the pause is not a full stop, it is just a comma in the sentence of the eternal promise. Teach me to wait like someone who trusts. Like someone who sits at the table even though they don't see the bread, but believes that the heavenly baker is already baking the provision. Teach me to sing even when there is no music around, to worship even when the altar seems cold, to trust even when the road is covered by the fog of doubt. Because if you are on the way, then even the darkness is a blessing, even the delay is a miracle in the making. Even today without answers is tomorrow being prepared behind the scenes in heaven. Don't let me give up, Lord. Don't let discouragement make me abandon the place of promise. Don't let my feet stray from the door that hasn't yet opened. Give me the strength to stay, even when everything says I should leave. Strengthen my hands, lift my face, and whisper in my spirit that it's still worth believing. For I know, my God, that you are not a God of deceit. If you have promised, you will fulfill. If you have spoken, you will not go back. None of your words fall to the ground without bearing fruit, and I cling to this with all my soul. Now, Lord, I rest in you. I rest not because the signs are visible, but because your voice calms me, even when you are silent. And in the midst of this rest, I worship you. I worship you for who you are, not just for what you do. I worship you for your faithfulness that never fails, for your patience with me, for your grace that sustains me when my faith wavers. And if this prayer reaches hearts that are also weary, Lord, renew them. Breathe life into the dry bones of hope. Raise up warriors of silence, worshippers of waiting, faithful to the invisible. May each soul who prays with me today know God's delay is not rejection, it is construction. And when the right time comes, it will be beautiful, it will be full, it will be yours. If you have lived or are living a time of waiting that has shaped your faith, write in the comments, I am waiting on God, but He is already shaping me. Beloved Father, God of eternal promises, today I stand before you with my heart exposed, like a plowed field that yearns for the rain of your presence. I bring with me a soul that no longer rests on human plans or earthly predictions. I bring with me a spirit tired of waiting for the ideal time, and yet full of faith that your time is always the best. I have walked paths where answers seem to spring forth easily, but I have also walked through deserts where the sky seemed bronze and the divine voice was absent. And it is on these silent days that I most need to remember, just because I don't see it doesn't mean that you're not acting. I have asked myself so many times, my God, why so much silence? Why don't the winds change? Why do the doors remain closed? Why does it take so long for the blessing to manifest? I have questioned whether I was praying right, fasting enough, being truly obedient. I have blamed myself for answers not received, for promises that seem increasingly distant, but today, before your Majesty, I surrender to your process. I understand, even with tears in my eyes, that there is beauty in the invisible, that there is glory in the invisible, that there is power in silence. You have not abandoned me, Father. How many times have I tried to rush what would only blossom when it was ripe? How many times have I wanted to pick the fruit while it was still green, deceived by anxiety? But you, Lord, in your infinite wisdom, surrounded me with walls of waiting, not to punish me, but to protect me, to prevent the miracle from reaching me before I was ready, to preserve in me a heart that knows how to value, guard, and sustain what you will deliver. And how difficult it is to accept this, Father. But I know that every weight in you has a purpose. You do not waste time. You are the Lord of time, the God who molds character before delivering blessings, the Father who knows every fold of the soul and does not rush as we rush. Teach me to wait as someone who trusts, not with the anxiety that corrodes, but with the hope that sustains. May my heart not waver in the long hours. May my mind not get lost in comparisons. May my spirit not give up in the face of repeated days. May I live the waiting as an altar. May I be able to transform silence into prayer, doubt into trust, pain into worship. Because I know that you see me. I know that your promise has not expired. I know that your word is alive, even when the scene seems dead. You are the God who resurrects dormant promises, who gives new life to what seemed closed. You are the God who visits tombs and calls by name what the world has already buried. And if the Lord has not yet answered, it is not because he has forgotten. It is because he loves too much to deliver at the wrong time. It is because the miracle that will come needs fertile soil, deep roots, and a polished soul. And if today my soul cries, may it cry in your arms. May it bow before your throne and say, even if the promises are delayed, I will trust, because you do not fail. You do not lie. You do not abandon. You are faithful, even when my heart is fickle. And in this faithfulness I will anchor myself. There are times when waiting tests me brutally, when I see others prosper, achieve, and move forward, and I stand still. When comparison wants to invade like a thief and steal my peace. But you call me to trust. You remind me that each story is written in different times, that the same God who is moving heaven and earth for others is also taking care of my story, and that the time that seems stagnant is in fact a time of roots. You are taking me deep, Lord. You are teaching me to love you more than the outcome. You are teaching me to rest, to trust without maps, to follow without answers. You are teaching me to choose you, even when everything inside me wants to run away. So today I pray, mold me, Lord. Prepare me even if I don't understand. Wash my heart of all haste, all fear, all disbelief. Make me faithful in the little things, present in the now, firm in faith. May my eyes not be fixed on what has not yet arrived, but find beauty in what already exists. May I not condition my peace on the fulfillment of the promise, but on the presence of the one who promised. Because true joy does not come when everything goes right, but when I know that you are with me even when everything seems wrong. If I need to wait longer, may I wait with faith. If I need to go through processes, may I do so with adoration. If I need to be molded, may I accept being clay in your hands, because I know that at the right time, as your word says, the Lord himself will make it happen. And when it comes, it will be beautiful. It will not be forced. It will not be torn away. It will be an abundant harvest of a wait, watered with faith, tears, and trust. I rest in this truth. I rest in the God who sees, in the God who hears, in the God who is not late. If this prayer spoke to you, and you are also waiting for something that has not yet arrived, but you have decided to trust in God's timing, write in the comments, "Even without seeing it, I trust in God's timing." Lord of all seasons, Master of the pauses that transform us, in this sacred moment I pour myself out before you with everything I am, everything I carry, and everything I still do not understand. I have cried in the early hours of the morning when only your name was my consolation. I have prostrated myself in silence, not for lack of words, but because I could not find the strength to say them. I have looked to the sky with teary eyes, waiting for a sign, an answer, a direction, and what I received was silence. A silence that seemed deafening, an echo that dragged on through the days like an endless wait. But in this apparent emptiness, I discovered that your silence is not absence. It is teaching. It is not contempt. It is framing. It is not abandonment. It is unspoken closeness. Your silence, Lord, does not exclude me. It invites me. It invites me to listen to more than words, to discern more than sounds, to realize that while I am restless with waiting, you are already working behind the scenes of eternity, and I realize that there is a profound learning reserved for those who continue to worship you even when heaven seems silent. Because it is easy to exalt when favor is visible, when miracles materialize, when everything flows without obstacles. But when nothing moves, when the world does not change, when the answer does not come, the heart that still worships you is refined gold. It is true faith. It is legitimate surrender. How many times, Father, have I found myself doubting not your power, but your timing, and that doubt has hurt more than the absence of the blessing, because I have felt like someone in an eternal waiting room, staring at doors that won't open, holding notes of promises that never seem to be called. And yet something in me insists on waiting. Something in me recognizes you even in the dark. Something in me says, He is still here, because your presence is greater than any sign. And your spirit is not an emotion, it is a foundation. In this school of silence, I have learned to breathe your name as one breathes air. I have learned to pray without haste, to trust without guarantees, to worship without a stage. Because you are worthy even when you are not doing something that I can see. You are worthy even when the healing has not yet arrived, when the answer has not yet been released, when dreams continue to be kept in the womb of your time. You are God, even in the interval. You are God, even in the not yet. Lord, teach me not to measure your faithfulness with a human ruler. Teach me not to interpret your delay as disinterest, because you do not act under pressure. You are not moved by desperation. You do not rush out of anxiety. You operate in the fullness of time, a time that does not fit into my clocks, a time that escapes my logic, but that always arrives at the exact moment when my soul is ready to sustain that which it has only dreamed of for so long. And in that time, when it arrives, nothing is missing. Nothing fails, nothing escapes, but while it doesn't arrive, my heart learns. It learns that trust is not passivity. It is resistance. It learns that faith is not magic. It is perseverance. It learns that loving you is not conditional on answers. It is a daily choice, a continuous surrender, a deep surrender. I am learning to seek you more for who you are than for what you can do. I am learning to follow you even without a map, to praise you even without applause, to wait for you even without visible guarantees. Lord, break in me every hasty mentality. Destroy every urgency that arises from comparison. Take away from me the vice of immediacy and plant the virtue of patience. Free me from the poison of looking at the lives of others as a barometer of my faith. I do not want to be moved by what the world applauds, but by what your Spirit approves. Teach me to see purpose where the world only sees delay. Teach me to value the grave as part of the path to the throne. Teach me that there is blessing in anonymity, healing in seclusion, direction in stillness. Today I understand that the desert is not the end, it is a place of encounters. Deep, transformative, eternal encounters. It was in the desert that you heard Hagar's cry. It was in the desert that you spoke to Moses at the bush. It was in the desert that you prepared David's heart. And it was also in the desert that Jesus defeated the devil. The desert is not a place of death, it is a place of construction. It is a training ground for those who will carry greater purposes. And if I am in the desert, Lord, do not let me leave before I am transformed. May I not flee the furnace before the gold appears. May I not flee the cave before the glory shines. Holy Spirit, breathe hope where there is only darkness. Fill the empty spaces with your presence. Lift up the weary arms. Support the souls that are already thinking of giving up. Bring back memories of the promises made, the words spoken, the prophecies that have not yet been fulfilled. Rekindle the flame of faith. Revive what seemed dead. This shows, even if in a subtle way, that you are here. And that even if I do not hear your voice, your hand continues to write my story perfectly. Today I decide once again to wait on you, to wait with adoration, with obedience, with faith, to wait without murmuring, without complaining, without doubting. And if by chance pain tries to invade, may it find an altar in me. May it lead me to the secret place. May it bring me closer to you. Because better is the valley with you than the palace without your presence. Better is the delay with your hand upon me than the haste that drags me out of your will. Better is to be molded in silence than to party outside of purpose. And if this prayer finds hearts in agony, in fatigue, in doubt, may it be a balm. May it be a shelter. May it be a lit torch in the midst of darkness. May each word bring comfort. May each phrase carry hope. May each verse be a divine breath. Because you are the God who sustains those who no longer know how to continue. You are the Father who lifts up the fallen, the shepherd who goes after the wounded sheep. You are the faithful friend who does not abandon. Even when no one else understands, you understand. Even when everyone leaves, you stay. Even when everything in me is silent, you listen. And that is why I trust. That is why I continue. That is why I hope. If this prayer touched your soul in the midst of God's silence, write in the comments, even if God is silent, I will continue to trust. Eternal Father, as I near the end of this prayer, my soul does not want to end, it wants to remain, because seeking you fills me more than any answer. Praying, even in the midst of waiting, is like breathing in the midst of a storm. It does not change the weather around me, but it strengthens me from within. And today, in this sacred moment, I realize what I have prayed for most is not only that your plans be fulfilled, but that my heart be ready to receive them when they come. Because I know with all the certainty that remains within me that the Lord's right time is approaching, and when it arrives, everything will change, not slowly, not timidly, but like a dawn that does not ask for permission, like a tide that invades with force and transforms the entire landscape. Your time is a holy revolution. It is redemption with an eternal seal. And I know it is coming. I know it is already moving. You have taught me, Lord, that there are blessings waiting for me in seasons marked with your name, and that no matter how much I run or how late I seem, they will not come a day too soon or a second too late. They will come when I am ready to not only receive them, but also to sustain them with faith, maturity, and humility. And until that day comes, something powerful is happening. You are making me the kind of person who does not get lost when the miracle comes. Because you do not want me just to be a recipient of blessings, but as a vessel shaped by you, filled with your glory, committed to your ways. I no longer pray just for open doors. I pray for wisdom to walk through them. I no longer ask just to see the promise. I ask that it find me with the right heart, with the right posture, with my eyes fixed on you. Because I have seen, Lord, that many miss the blessing not because it did not come, but because they came to it unprepared, insecure, proud, disconnected from you. Don't let me be one of those. Prepare me with the hands of a potter. Correct the excesses of my ego. Align my intentions, and if necessary, delay a little longer. But don't let me reap what I have not yet been trained to keep. You have promised, Father, that what is mine will reach me, that what you have designed for my life is being prepared with detail, with precision, with love, that nothing that comes from you arrives incomplete, fragile, or half-done. You are the God of plenitude, the God who does not improvise, and this certainty is my foundation, because when I think I have been forgotten, I remember that there is a promise being carved in secret. When I compare myself and see myself behind, I remember that your road has no traffic or rush, only direction and faithfulness. You are not dependent on human calendars. You are Lord over clocks and over the cosmos. You are the author of time and also of history, and my story is in your hands, even when it seems messy, even when it seems at a standstill. Even when everything in me wants to write a full stop, you look at me and say, I'm still writing. And that's enough. That calms me. That anchors me. Because if it's you who writes, then the ending will be redemptive. If it's you who leads, then the path will be safe, even if it's steep, even if it's narrow. Lord, may I not be too distracted to recognize your time when it comes. May I not be so tired that I no longer believe. May my faith, even though weakened, have held out long enough to lift my eyes and say, it's here. May my heart not be numb, skeptical, or cold. But may I find you standing there with tears of gratitude, with praise choked in my throat, with hands raised, saying, it was worth the wait, my God. It was worth every second in the desert. May I see, on the day of the promise fulfilled, that not a single minute of pain was in vain, that not one of your not yets was cruelty, but rather care, patience, love. And when I finally hold in my arms that which for so long I have only imagined in prayer, may I not forget you. May I not lose myself in the comfort of the answer. May I not be confused by the brilliance of victory. May I not be distracted by praise. But may I remember where the strength came from, where the promise came from, where the hope came from. May I always return to the altar. May I always return the fruits to you. May I never replace the giver with the gift. May your name be engraved at the base of each blessing, as if stamping eternity on what the world does not understand. Today, Lord, I also pray for all who hope, for those who are on the verge of giving up, for those who have packed up their dreams and are about to bury them, for those who feel forgotten, ignored, despised. Breathe your spirit into their lives. May this prayer be a breeze that lifts the weary, a whisper of hope amid the noise of despair. May it be a reminder that you are the same, yesterday, today, and forever, that you still do the impossible, that you still move heaven, that you still write surprising endings. You said, Lord, in Isaiah 60:22, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will bring it to pass. And that word is like honey to the soul, because it does not depend on human effort. It does not depend on influence, nor on curriculum, nor on strength. It depends only on you. And when the Lord acts, nothing can stop it. Not time, not people, not past mistakes, not fear of the future. When the Lord determines, it happens. When the Lord declares, it comes to pass. When the Lord releases, it manifests. Therefore, on this morning of prayer, I no longer ask for haste. I ask for preparation. I do not beg for shortcuts. I ask for roots. I do not cry out for hasty miracles. I ask for maturity to receive them. I want to be ready for your time. I want to live the promise with my head held high, with a clean soul, with my feet firm. I want to enter the new season as someone who understands the value of each step taken so far. I want to glorify your name, not only at the end of the wait, but during every minute of the journey, because the Lord has been with me the whole time, and that is enough of a miracle to never stop worshiping you. If this prayer touched your spirit and you decided to trust in God's timing, write in the comments, "When God's timing is right, it will be perfect, and I will be ready." And if this prayer spoke to your heart, subscribe to the channel and leave your like so that more lives can be reached by this word of faith. May this prayer continue to echo hope in many hearts.